Now at 5, some Missouri state lawmakers pushed for major improvements to I-44, including in the Joplin area. Plus, voters in Kansas head to the polls to cast their ballots for presidential candidates and
former President Donald Trump is facing a deadline to pay a nearly $500 million financial penalty. I'm Natalie Brand with why his attorneys say it's a practical impossibility and what it could mean for his campaign.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Big improvements could be coming to parts of Interstate 44 in Missouri if some state lawmakers get their wish. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. The Missouri House Budget Chairman is proposing a $291 million project to rebuild portions of I-44. KOAM's Amber Jenkins is live along the interstate.
Project 44 could improve the traffic congestion along the 250 miles of Interstate I-44. Phase 1 of 44 was replacing bridges on the interstate. Now representatives are proposing 4 more phases to widen the interstate to 6 lanes, establish new interchanges at junction I-49/I-44, and improve infrastructure on rural roads. Representatives like Cody Smith are hopeful the Missouri Senate and governor will approve the $291 million for funding for the project in Jasper County.
But I feel confident that given our history, the Missouri Senate also likes these types of investments, and Governor Parson, this has been part of his platform.
Project 44 is proposing projects along the I-44 interstate from St. Louis all the way down to the Oklahoma state line. Dow, back to you.
I know you have a lot more for us tonight at 6. Amber, thanks. Nice weather out there, a bit breezy, but otherwise temps looking pretty good. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty.
Yeah, it's been much warmer outside for us today. Of course, it's very windy out there, but that's helped those temperatures really warm up as we have gone through the past several hours. So if we look outside Joplin, it's 69, 70 in Pittsburgh. Those strong southwesterly winds were in the mid to upper 70s once you get into our western counties. But again, very windy. Look at our sustained winds, kind of in that 30 upwards to 35 mile per hour range. And then we've been getting gusts in that 30 to 40 mile per hour range. It's going to stay windy tonight. These are going to back down a little bit, but still it's going to be pretty breezy. We do have clear skies, nothing going on here, but we are tracking our next little wave, which will change our weather up a bit as we go through the next couple days. The evening looks fine. We slide back through the 60s into the 50s. We'll look at some at least slight rain chances coming up here in just a bit.
See you soon. Voters in Kansas today are casting their ballots in the presidential preference primary. President Biden and former President Trump are expected to win the Sunflower State and add to their delegate totals that have already clinched their bids for the nominations. This year's election style is a little different for Kansans.
I mean, I'm a precinct person and have been a precinct person for quite some time. And caucuses are important because what it allows for other candidates to be there, and you get to see them, you get to see separate votes for them, and so on and so forth. So,
if you live in Kansas, you do still have some time to cast your ballot. The polls remain open until 7. It's not just the Sunflower State voting today. Voters in Arizona, Illinois, and Ohio are also casting ballots for both parties, with Donald Trump and President Biden expected to win every state. In Florida, Republican voters are expected to back Trump, though Florida Democrats canceled their party's primary and awarded President Biden their delegates. Time is running out for former President Trump to come up with $454 million for a bond he needed to appeal his civil fraud case in New York State. Natalie Brand has the latest from Washington, D.C.
Former President Donald Trump is facing a deadline next week, owing nearly $500 million from his New York civil fraud judgment. After Trump was unable to reach agreement with more than 30 companies that provide appeal bonds, his attorneys said raising the money in time is a practical impossibility. Without a bond, New York Attorney General Letitia James could begin freezing bank accounts and seizing prized properties, including Trump Tower and 40 Wall Street.
The bottom line this is rigged.
Trump is facing a cash crunch not only to fight his multiple legal battles, but to fund his presidential campaign. At the start of 2024, his cash on hand has lagged behind the Biden campaign. CBS News has learned Trump is considering enlisting his former 2016 campaign chairman Paul Manafort to help raise money. Manafort was found guilty of committing several financial crimes, including tax and bank fraud in 2018, and later pardoned by Trump.
Mr. President.
This morning, President Biden departed for a 3-day swing through western battleground states. His campaign says it's raised $53 million in February and has $155 million in cash on hand for his reelection bid. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Donald Trump has already posted a $91.6 million bond in the defamation case he lost to E. Jean Carroll. Jasper County is gearing up for the April 2nd election. The county performed the public test of their voting equipment today, overseen by a bipartisan team. The county clerk says the testing is important to make sure people trust the equipment and the process. It's also a way to verify whether the count is accurate.
I think the vast majority of the people understand and trust our election system, trust the machines, trust the process, but there are a few people that have questions. So the way that we solve that is we run a small election in the office during the public test. So that way we can make sure that the cards are programmed correctly, and when we tally the results, they're 100% correct.
Just wanted to see how it was done, and I did it for educational purposes. I've never seen this before, and I wanted to learn about it.
The testing with 72 sample ballots was done 3 times to ensure the electronic results matched the hand counts. Jasper County recently purchased 58 voting tabulators, which are brand new machines that count the votes in a faster way. Today is also the first day for the no excuse absentee voting period in Missouri. For more election resources, go to koamnewsnow.com/elections. Still ahead, removing clutter and relieving stress.
For many, cleaning and getting organized is part of the start of spring. I'm Bradley Blackburn with why keeping a tidy home may actually improve your mental and physical health.
Plus, sales begin for the nation's first over-the-counter birth control pill. Those stories next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, women can now buy a birth control pill online and without a prescription. The FDA approved the over-the-counter sale of O-Pill last July. The company that makes the oral contraceptive made it available for purchase yesterday at opill.com and on Amazon. A 1-month supply costs about $20. 6-month supply sells for $90, though insurance might cover that cost. Doctors say the sale of this drug online is a game changer for women who lack access to health care. The CDC is warning about a global uptick in measles. This health alert comes as the spring and summer travel season kicks off. The CDC is calling on doctors to encourage vaccinations, especially for children traveling internationally. The U.S. eliminated measles as an epidemic, but some imported cases are seen annually. So far this year, there have been 58 cases in 17 jurisdictions. Among the states where measles has been reported, Arizona, Florida, California, and Pennsylvania. Spring cleaning is the rite of the season for a lot of people, a time to tidy up, get your house organized, and there's evidence it could not only improve your home, but also your mental health. Bradley Blackburn explains.
This is a bedroom of a 4-year-old girl.
Sarah Lasansi and Emily Raniger are the organizing duo behind Shelfie, a New York company that's been helping transform spaces for nearly a decade.
She can come home from school and hang her backpacks up because it's low enough.
They fixed this space for 4-year-old Sophia after her mom, Kendra, realized clutter was causing stress for the whole family.
It was getting to the point that I was starting to feel just wildly stressed out.
Shelfie reworked the master closet and the bathroom too. They've seen how order in a home
I've had a couple of people tell me that we saved their marriage.
Can have ripple effects for the mind and body.
There are also those huge physical health benefits that I don't think
people really think about when they're thinking about like, oh, I need to organize my closet. Now I'm going to sleep better.
Studies have shown that in general, when women walk into messy environments, their cortisol levels spike.
Dr. Daniel Levitin is a neuroscientist who's written about reducing mental clutter.
Cortisol also shuts down your libido, your digestive system, and your immune system.
He says one key is making physical surroundings work for you.
Mental clutter and physical clutter in the environment, and they're certainly related, but different people relate them more tightly or loosely.
This needs to be the place that is a place for relaxation and just peace. And that's really what it did for us.
If you crave order, experts say you can start small.
Pick one drawer, pick one little area that you're going to focus on.
It could lead to real benefits for your health. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Doctors at the Cleveland Clinic say it can also help motivate you to tackle other tasks and goals you've been putting off. And that is a look at today's health news. A bit later, the importance of a clean credit report.
Incorrect information on your credit report can have devastating financial consequences. I'm Cristian Benavides with One Man's Story.
Plus the mild temperatures and the wind sticking around. We're going to look at that coming up next. Well, of course, it turned out to be a much warmer day for us today. Also very windy as winds have been gusting 30 upwards of 40 miles per hour at times. Looks good though. Nice shot of our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Indigo just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Looks good. Pretty much clear skies. We'll see clear skies as we go through the evening hours. Check this out. Here's our 24-hour temperature change. Look at this. Solid 25 to 30 degrees warmer outside right now compared to what it was this time last night. We're at 67 in Monette, Anderson 68, Miami is sitting at 72, 76 in Chanute, Fort Scott at 72 degrees. When we go outside, here's 7th and Rangeline sitting at 69, southerly winds at 24, but those gusts between 30 and 40 miles per hour. Look at these strong sustained winds, and of course the gusts have been much higher over the past hour or two. So very windy conditions. Stick around through the evening hours, but they will start to diminish late tonight into tomorrow. And look at this wind shift line. So this is tomorrow afternoon. This is a front that is going to be hanging out on top of us. So as it sinks south tomorrow evening into tomorrow night, the winds will start to pick up again, but out of the northeast instead of the south like we are seeing out there right now. Through the evening, sliding back through the 60s, 50s, eventually mid-40s later on tonight, but clear skies. Not much going on here. In fact, the entire Central Plains looking pretty good. We are tracking this weak little wave out across parts of New Mexico into Arizona. This is an upper level low. It's been hanging out there for a few days. We'll start to head toward us as we get a little deeper into the week. Tonight's going to be fine. By morning, we'll drop back into the mid-40s. As we go through the morning hours, we will warm into lower 60s. Notice northeasterly winds, northern counties, southerly winds in our southern counties. As we get into the afternoon, still upper 60s to near 70 for afternoon highs. But by evening, a few isolated showers popping up, but only in our southern counties. Most of you will stay dry. Again, could be a random shower tomorrow night. So now we're looking at Thursday morning. A random shower, most of you dry. We are going to warm into lower 60s on Thursday. A little better chance for a few showers in our southern counties once we get into late Thursday evening, and then all this will rotate out of here by Friday morning. So most of us most likely staying dry. All right, 47 in the morning, 63 by noon, high temp of 70 degrees. So let's go into Friday. Another weak little front slides through, could get a random shower. Most of you dry. And then we cool down as we head into the weekend. Look at this, high temps only near 50, 52 by the time Saturday rolls around. 70 for you tomorrow, 63 Thursday, 65 on Friday. Random showers, most of us dry. 55 Saturday, and then chances for thunderstorms rolling in late Sunday and then heading into Monday.
Quite a mix of temps, sun, and rain.
Yeah, all over the place.
I guess so. Thanks, Doug. Coming up, a fabric and craft store chain announces Chapter 11 bankruptcy. We're going to see what's next for Joanne. Topping today's Consumer Watch, fabric and craft store Joanne has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy amid spending cutbacks from consumers and high operating costs. The company says it intends to keep its more than 800 stores open as it goes through restructuring. Joanne also plans to revert back to a private company after going public 3 years ago. A credit score can determine whether you can get a loan for a home, car, or credit card. It can also impact the interest rate on that loan. But many Americans say their credit reports contain mistakes, and in some cases, the financial effects can be devastating. Christian Benavides reports.
A few years ago, Reginald Kurtz and his wife struggled to make mortgage payments on a home he bought with a federal loan from the USDA. Eventually, the house went into foreclosure and the loan was settled. Their credit took a hit, but it was made worse because the lender kept misreporting payments were overdue.
Due to that, them reporting that we were making late payments, that just destroyed my credit.
Reginald is not alone. For the past 3 years, incorrect information on a credit report has been the #1 complaint to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The National Consumer Law Center says about 13% of consumers have errors that affect their credit scores.
A lot of the errors people find, other people's information gets crossed with theirs, and sometimes they have similar names or similar social security numbers.
Lisa Gill with Consumer Reports says you can check your credit for free once a week at annualcreditreport.com, which shows reports at Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. You can dispute an error online, but Gill says for legal reasons you should go a step further.
Pull all your documentation together, write a letter, print it out, print all of this out, make copies, and send it by certified mail to each of the 3 credit bureaus.
The Kurtzes hired attorneys to sue the USDA for mistakes on his report, but the federal agency claimed it had immunity. His appeal went to the Supreme Court, which recently ruled in his favor.
Effectively, their ability to make errors and get away with it has been eliminated.
The couple can now go forward with the lawsuit, but it could be months before their case is resolved and their credit can be repaired. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Collegeville, Pennsylvania.
Credit Reports and the nonprofit Work Money have started a project called Credit Checkup to encourage consumers to stay on top of their credit reports. If you're in the market for a new home, snagging one might become a bit easier and possibly a little less expensive. That's because new home construction surged last month following months of high demand and low inventory. According to data released by the U.S. Census Bureau, the pace of new housing starts was up nearly 11% in February. Final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, the health risks uncovered in the drinking water supply of a major U.S. city. Then on KOIM News at 6, we're going to have more on that proposal from Missouri lawmakers concerning major improvements to I-44. Plus, the Newton County Sheriff's Office showcases its new water rescue boat, and several Southeast Kansas high school football standouts signed to continue their careers at the collegiate level. Stay with us, CBS Evening News, and then KOIM News at 6. The James Webb Space Telescope has just made an unusual discovery deep in the stars. According to NASA, astronomers have detected 2 young stars surrounded by common chemical ingredients found in vinegar and ant stings and even margaritas. They observed acetic acid, which is a component of alcohol. The team also found sulfur dioxide, which scientists believe sulfurous compounds might have played a key role for life to form on Earth. So maybe all the ingredients for life out there wasting away in Margaritaville.
There you go. And if it's a young star, it'd be millions of years from now.
Yes, so. I guess.
All right, for us tonight, we're going to drop back only into the mid-40s, not near as cold. 70 tomorrow, random shower late tomorrow through Thursday.
Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOIM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.